this is Indira and welcome to Indiraas World, where cooking is fun. If you're new to my YouTube channel, this is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to do cookery, lifestyle, actually anything that comes into my mind. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do, and follow me on @IndiraasWorld on Instagram. This week's video is going to be on burgers of different sorts, but you can call it a burger, call it a kebab, whatever you want. And it's also a way of getting your kids to eat vegetables without them knowing. Treat your children well. First, I'm going to start with a low-fat burger, and it's going to be in such a way that we can con the children into eating a little vegetable without them knowing, and also making it exciting and easy. But before we do anything, don't forget to please sanitize. My hands never felt so clean. Today I'm going to use lean 5% minced beef. Now, I use 5, but you can go up to 10, and if you prefer it fattier, that's your choice. I have a spoon that's alive. Now, to the beef, I'm going to add grated carrots, and in it I've also grated the stems of broccoli that no one actually likes. So I've blitzed it all together. So that's carrots, celery, minced mushrooms. These are all things kids don't like to eat, so I've put them together, but they will never know. Over here is kale. Also, but if you notice, it's so finely minced that I'm going to hide it. We have spring onions, coriander or parsley, it's your choice. I have ginger, grated, garlic, finely chopped, tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. I blanched them and chopped them. I decided not to use eggs to bind anything today, so I've used gram flour instead. This is available in all supermarkets. It's very healthy and it has protein in it, and I decided not to use eggs. I have finely chopped onions here and minced green chilies. This is optional if you like a bit of spice. Here I have Worcester sauce, also known as Worcestershire Sauce, and tomato sauce or tomato ketchup, depending on where you come from. And right, I'm ready to rock and roll. So let's do this. Right, here I have my minced beef. All these recipes are kind of made up by me because I traveled a lot as a kid. My dad was a pilot, and actually as I grew up, and now I still continue, I've got wings, can't stay in one place. But I have tried, I've invented recipes with the influence of different countries. And coming from India, and I've lived in the Middle East and Far East and Europe, of course, and the Americas. But I've tried to combine them all and also made it easy for people to enjoy their food. So here we go. Here we have 500 grams of minced beef, as I said, very finely minced. To this, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of grated carrot, and this also has the broccoli stem, but we won't tell anyone. I'm going to add to that 1 heaped tablespoon of celery, also minced, 2 tablespoons of minced onions. Now this is 1 tablespoon of minced kale. Now if you like a little extra, you can do. I do like a little more green. So to this I'm adding a spoon of mushroom because everybody hates mushrooms in this house and I insist on putting it in. To that I'm adding, we have a slight spiced palate, so I'm adding minced chilies here, but I've kind of broken them up. I'm adding 1 heaped teaspoon of ginger, a heaped teaspoon of garlic, 2 teaspoons of chopped tomato. Now if you are cooking with meat and there are non-meat eaters in the house, I always make sure that I keep spoons and dishes on either side so we don't mix them up. Now to this I'm adding 2 large spoons of tomato ketchup, 2 spoons of Worcester sauce. Now if you do like a little extra tang like I do, you can go a little heavy on that one, that's fine. I'm going to add just a smidgen of coriander and some spring onions. Here again, it's up to you if you like it or not. I do. I love herbs. But you can also use parsley instead. You don't have to use coriander. Coriander can be an acquired taste. Now, to this I'm adding pepper. This is to taste. I don't tell people how much salt and pepper. Usually people know what they want. It's the same with the salt. I'm using about half a teaspoon of salt. And I mix it all together. Now, as I said, I don't want to use any egg for binding. So I've decided to use 2 tablespoons of gram flour. Now, this is available all supermarkets, as I said before. And you mix this up. You can even blitz it if you want, but just a firm good mix of this is good enough. And then we're going to pack them into little burger-shaped things, or you can even pack them into sort of long things so you can wrap them up in a wrap. It depends on whatever you like. But it should come out like a sort of bejeweled thing like this at the end of it. Now, in terms of patting them into shape, that'll be the next step. Right, now this is what you'll end up with. Now again, remember, sanitize your hands. Now I'm making them into little burgers, like so. And I'm going to pop them into my baking dish. Go. So basically, keep going with that until you fill your tray up. These you can keep in the fridge overnight and for the next day if you want. And without cooking, and reuse them. They also work really well on a barbecue. So when you're left with stuff like this, just remember, put some cling film on it, pop in the fridge, and you can reuse it the next day. Now you'll notice that all the vegetables are seemingly disappeared. They also have disappeared in taste, just so you know. Now, that's it. I'm going to pop this in a preheated oven. I preheated it to 175, which is what I usually do. And it should be about 20 minutes and it'll be done. So there you go. I don't particularly like using a lot of fats, so I just use a brush and rub down some olive oil. But remember, if you're redoing a vegetarian option, remember to have 2 different instruments for everything, so you don't land up putting the meats into the vegan stuff or vegetarian stuff. Now this is going to go in the oven. I've brushed it down and that's popping into the oven now. My sweet Lord, my sweet Lord, my Lord. Right, now we're going to do the same thing in a vegan version because I think it's always nice to have options. So here I have 2 full cups of corn. Now again, I have minced these into really fine corn. There you go. So it's quite almost like pepper. Now to this I'm adding 2 heaped spoons of gram flour. Now because this may not hold as tight because it doesn't have the fats of normal meat, I'm going to add in an extra for good measure. Now, 2 spoons of chopped onions, again. Green chilies for taste. Again, this is optional. I keep saying this because I know some people are not that chili friendly. Now, 2 spoons of red, green and yellow peppers mixed. 2 spoons of carrots. As I told you, the stems of the broccoli are in there. When I'm doing a vegan version, I tend to be a little heavy with the vegetables only because it does add a little more fluid and also taste, to be honest. 2 spoons again of minced celery. Now, here, whoops, I've got 1, 2, and an extra spoon, like I did with the flour, of tomatoes. 1 heaped spoon of ginger. Oops. heapspoon of garlic and ginger. Gosh, I got that the other way around. Here we have the minced kale. So here again I'm going to put 2 heapspoons, but I can do 3. What they don't know can't hurt them, you know. Now, mushrooms. Spoon of mushrooms, if you want even 2. You can go heavy on the vegan, vegetarian, vegetable side, always works. I'm going to add spring onions and a little coriander. That's a mixture. Now to this, again, I'm going to add my salt. Here I have almost a teaspoon of salt in there. And pepper. To that, again, I add my tomato sauce, stroke ketchup. You can, or if you like it slightly sweeter or tangier, you can go extra on the ketchup and the Worcester sauce. Here's my Worcester sauce, Worcestershire even. I'm putting 3 spoons of that in, and like I said, all you have to do is mix that up into a nice smooth mixture. Get all those vegetables and salts and everything in there going through. This is really, really very, very tasty. Trust me, people think vegan food is really not tasty. That's not true. Vegan food is lovely. And also, it's good for you. It's good for your kids. Combine that with other stuff. You don't have to have it all just, you know, it depends on what you like. Now remember, oh, this is the important bit. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet on YouTube, please do. And also, you can find me on Indiraas World on Instagram. This is what they look like packed on to these little patty things. Now, I was going to give you an option of popping them in the oven, brushing them in olive oil, or I'm going to pop these on a frying pan. This, by the way, is Kama Sutra. It's what every household needs. That's why it's called Kama Sutra. And also, it has been out on many a full moon, as you can see. It shows a bit of wear, but then that, according to me, shows character. Right, now I brush the pan with oil. I'm going to pop these little soya burgers in and brush it again with oil. And that's ready to go. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of tortillas now with just a bit of a filling on top, but without the egg, and then I'm going to move on to the egg. Now here again, I've got some oil on a pan, on my Kama Sutra pan. This is an old friend of mine, you'll get used to it. This is gluten-free. Onto this, I'm going to pop my tortilla. So I've brushed the pan with olive oil, and I've popped my tortilla on. Now this is gluten-free, as I said. Now, onto this, I'm going to add a wee bit of flavoring. So as a wrap, it will be more fun. I've got bits of onion here and spring onion mixed, and that goes on top with a wee bit of coriander. And this again is all optional. I'm putting a few peppers in there. I just like the colors. I always find that if a dish is even in color, it usually is more nutritious. So you have the greens, which is important for you. The orange will usually have beta carotene, and white tends to be carbohydrates. So when you have all of it put together, you tend to get a more balanced diet. Now, here we go. I'm just cooking down those onions, etc. And flip. There you go. Now that's slightly more interesting as a tortilla. Now if you wrap your vegan burger on that, it always seems a little more exciting. Let's just do that just for the heck of it. There you go. There you go. I'm giving you an option here, which is Indian street food really. It's called Baida Roti or egg bread, eggy bread, whatever you want to call it. Sprinkle some olive oil in there. I'm going to pop a chapati, which is Indian bread, or you can even use a tortilla. This is made of wheat. Now, that's going in there. And now, this is my non-vegan version. I'm putting 3 spoons of beaten egg on there. It has a little salt in it as well, okay, for taste. Now on it, some peppers. Those are slightly spicy ones, but you don't have to. And here we go with the onions, and spring onions, also optional, and coriander, also optional. You can just have the egg by itself. It's whatever you choose. Now there is my, now you just flip that very quickly, and the egg cooks in. And it looks sort of like that. Now that's lovely as a side dish. Now as an option for non-red meat eaters who still like their meat, I've used chicken in the same proportions, and that could be a nice option as well. And voila! I threw in a bit of French. I thought it sounded more chefy and, posh. That's about the limit of my French, but there you go. Now, here we have it. I have here the beef and chicken option. Now, I've made it slightly longer so you can roll it into a bit of a wrap. This is the eggy wrap I have from earlier. A little salad, twist of lemon, and serving it with some Greek yogurt with paprika and hummus. I will teach you how to make all this in another show, but that's another show. Now I sauteed some of the broccoli. As you remember, I used the stems in my burger, and this is the top of it, the florets on top. Here we have the vegan version, which is made of corn, and on the side is a wonderful aromatic, flavoursome rice with black-eyed peas. But as I said, that's another show. So this is what I have been doing in my spare time. I was getting a little bit worried about the amount I was eating in the first couple of weeks during lockdown, and I was beginning to think I was going to weigh more than my fridge, which is why I decided to do this sort of low-fat versions for the family. So they look forward to a meal every day and a salad or soup at lunchtime, and I've actually begun to enjoy this a lot. Don't forget to go out and get lots of sunshine whenever you can, but keep your social distancing. Also, get some exercise in. Really, you don't need to be in a gym to get exercise. Even 2 cans of baked beans, you can do your biceps, triceps, all that kind of stuff. And that's me at the end of my show. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and most importantly, stay safe.